So the creative team comes in and says, okay, Wieden, so here's the basic ideas, the 7 wonders of Oregon. And I interrupted him. I said, the 7 wonders of Oregon, that's damn brilliant. I mean, you get it like that. And it's not very often that an idea can be so clear and so provocative with just a few words. And this is it.
Mount Hood was left off the list. So was the Oregon coast. The Columbia River Gorge was somehow overlooked, as were the Painted Hills. Smith Rock and the Wallowas are both missing from it. All we can figure is whoever named the 7 wonders of the world never set foot in Oregon. Because even Crater Lake was left off their list. So we see your wonders, world, and raise you 7 of our own. And we invite you to come experience them. Our wonders aren't just for looking at. You have to explore them, feel them beneath your feet. Just remember, this is Oregon, so how you go about doing that is entirely up to you. The 7 wonders of Oregon. See one, or better yet, see them all.
Okay, so we made that. We made the anthem. We've given you that awesome checklist of the 7 things you absolutely need to do in Oregon. But we made these 30s that you're about to see because we want to go even deeper.
If you go to Crater Lake, awesome, you should. But, Ashland's not so far. You can raft the Rogue River, the Oregon caves. So, we really wanted to make sure that people didn't just go from one to the other and say, all right, I did it. But, actually explored the regions around these wonders.
This used to be a volcano, which blew itself to pieces and left a giant hole that rain and snow filled to make Crater Lake the deepest lake in America, which is only about 2 hours from Ashland and the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, which isn't too far from the Oregon Caves, which isn't too far from the Rogue River, which you'll raft if you're coming this way to visit Crater Lake, one of the 7 wonders of Oregon. See one, or better yet, see them all.
We brought up a new director, Christian. He was a young kid with a different view. And when we switched the campaigns, we brought a younger director with a new eye.
We were drawn to him because he really shoots stuff with this sense of exploring and adventure, which we really loved and felt like was needed for this campaign. And I think he brought that for sure. We all felt like the way he was capturing this footage was captured in a way that we had never seen Oregon before.
It's kind of a dream come true to spend, a month traveling around the state, shooting all sorts of stories in every different region of Oregon. I mean, it's a magical state, and there's so much beauty there.
Less than an hour's drive from Portland lies the Columbia River Gorge. Indians revered it, Lewis and Clark explored it, pioneers braved it, and Congress made it the largest national scenic area in the country, which means it's yours to climb, camp, swim, sail, and wade for another couple hundred years at least. However you decide to experience the gorge, you'll soon understand why it's one of the 7 wonders of Oregon. See one, or better yet, see them all.
It was important to us to have real people for the entire campaign. So we set out to find people who were experts on that particular wonder, or people who really wanted to travel to that particular wonder for the first time.
Believe it or not, we're not professional Hollywood actors. We're just a normal family that lives in Oregon. If we ever have free time, we'd rather go west, all the way to the coast, and there's so much to explore.
Here in Oregon, we call our beach the coast. Sure, we have beaches, but we have other stuff too, like lush rainforests that open onto craggy coves and secret surf spots, and the best public golf resort in America. Best of all, every inch is free and open to the public. It belongs to all of us and is ours to explore, which is why the entire Oregon coast is one of the 7 wonders of Oregon. See one, or better yet, see them all.
The overhead shots were filmed using this crazy 8-propeller helicopter contraption, and it actually has 2 guys that operate it, one that flies it, one that runs the the camera.
The first time we heard the helicopter, it was when I was en route, and so the sun was coming up, and it was this really beautiful moment, and I could hear it coming up from the river behind me.
It felt like a UFO was flying over you.
It sounded like a swarm of bees, and I really all I wanted to do was turn around and look at it, but just had to keep focus on climbing.
If you like adventure, you can't do much better than Central Oregon. It's home to 300 days of sun a year and enough bike trails and golf courses to go along with them. Between Sun River and Bend, you can even hike where the astronauts train to walk on the moon. Then take a load off. Tomorrow it's off to Smith Rock, a cathedral for rock climbers and the birthplace of American sport climbing, making it one of the 7 wonders of Oregon. See one, or better yet, see them all.
So what was your favorite part of shooting the commercial?
Eating ice cream pancakes.
Exploring Oregon's past requires fueling up for the day ahead. Ice cream pancakes should do the trick. Then it's off for a drive down the Journey Through Time Scenic Byway to the Painted Hills. Walking through these ancient mounds of earth, you suddenly realize prehistoric creatures didn't just roam the earth, they roamed the very earth you're roaming across, making the Painted Hills one of the 7 wonders of Oregon. See one, or better yet, see them all. Mount Hood is the highest point in Oregon, the 2nd most climbed peak in the world. But it's also sitting by the fire at Timberline Lodge. It's lavender fields and lakes to canoe across. It's all these things and more that make Mount Hood one of the 7 wonders of Oregon. See one, or better yet, see them all.
We had a really intense shoot. It was 17 days. It was a really small crew. A lot of times we were getting up to get the sunrise and shooting all day and then getting the sun setting, and then you still got to break down gear and find your hotel, or one night we even camped. So I think all in all, we traveled almost 3,000 miles.
By the end of it, we were just like a bunch of weary road warriors who were just like covered in dust and wearing the same clothes for several days on end, and probably smelling really bad, but altogether tan and happy.
It was definitely one of the most challenging productions I've ever done. That's for sure. We took cameras in places I've never taken them before, and in many, many different challenging locations for cameras to go.
Because of the way we shot this, camping at campgrounds, hiking, carrying equipment, you know, like it was a group effort, and I think that actually strengthened the work.
I love the adventure of it, creating something beautiful with a bunch of wonderful people on the road. It was like summer camp.
Eastern Oregon is cowboy country, home to farmland and rivers and ghost towns, and art galleries, and breweries, and a gondola that rises above the summer home of the Nez Perce to an alpine peak where you can look clear past the deepest canyon in America. Up here, you realize why the Wallowas are one of the 7 wonders of Oregon. See one, or better yet, see them all.
It's the fact that this campaign is resonating not only with visitors, but it's also resonating with Oregonians. There's a lot of hometown pride that's going on in this advertising campaign.
This is where I grew up. This is where I learned about life, and this is where I've done the work I was destined to be. And it's an honor to work for this client.
We're just privileged to be able to be in a position to have the resources to help portray Oregon in this way, in a way that we've never been able to do it before. But we can today. And thank goodness we can, because it's paying dividends, and it's going to be generating trips, and it's going to be creating jobs.